All right, Sigma Mandalorians, what's going on? It is our State of the Guild address, January 26th of 2026. Another very successful territory battles in the books, and I want to give a very special shout out to Mace Marauder, who played 2 accounts during that last TV. He not only played his main account, but he also played his alt account. I'm not sure if it's still in the guild. Let's take a look. Guild tokens lifetime. Yeah, so he still has his baby account in the guild at 11.8 million GP. And this wasn't just a situation where Mace was, oh yeah, I'll just like deploy. He was actively doing missions. So that was that's a really, round of applause. We need to give him a big thank you for that, because that's going above and beyond and helping us maintain that 48-star status that we've been working so hard to achieve. Again, we've got, a good bit to talk about here, kind of some of the adjustments we made this territory battle, some of the lessons that we're starting to learn, and some areas that we can continue to improve in to push this guild higher and higher. So let's get in here and let's get on with our State of the Guild address. So as I stated, 48 stars again feels really good. That 48 stars, it's just, it feels really good. Done a great job there, and we now know that we are 261 million territory points from that 49th star on Hoth. So we do have a ways to go before we, close the deal there, before we seal the deal. There are just a couple of areas that we can start to look at and say, hey, building these teams, switching to this, doing this will help us get more efficient. One of the first things we did this past territory battle was in Phase 4 when we unlock Haven. We switched from filling all 6 operations to only filling 4 of them. That was a big change. We definitely noticed a drop in the overall combat mission effectiveness. But as Zangster pointed out, the territory points we lost from going from 6 to 4 was not even close to what it gave us in additional GP to deploy in other phases. So by saving those territory points, we were able to do some additional preloading and set ourselves up to do better in Phase 5 and Phase 6 and other planets. So we really appreciate the sacrifice there. Again, we'll continue to figure out where and which teams to use, where and why. So more to come on that as we learn how to navigate Haven without all of the operations filled, and ensuring that we're being efficient with the territory points that we are using there and in other planets. And when we talk about efficient, we're not just saying like, oh, don't attempt missions if you think you're going to fail. That's not what we're going after here. We're trying to say that if we're going to have you do a combat mission, but between Haven or Mandalore, we'd rather it on Haven, because Mandalore, we have additional options. We could do fleet missions there. You have the Bo-Katan Mandalore mission. It's open for a lot of phases. We want to maximize our TP on the planets where we're trying to do them in 1 or 2 phases. So that way, those ones that we can preload over time, we're not dumping excess, territory points in there that's unnecessary for that phase. The next area that we are starting to notice a little bit, just, teams, right? We always talk about some teams here. Jabba. Making sure you have a team with Jabba that can do Relic 9 missions on whether it's Vandor and or Hoth. Listen, those missions are very, very easy to do with the proper strategy. You don't even use your ultimate. You literally just do your basic and throw thermals, and you will be successful in those missions. That's a huge win for us, because it doesn't take, you can do that with a lot of random units. For someone like myself, I'm using like Clone Wars Chewbacca, I'm using Cup, whatever leftover, and I have a Chrysanthemum, of course, but I have like leftover random Relic 9s. They go with Jabba, and we get a successful 2 out of 2 there. Another team we are looking at continuing to push towards would be the Remnants with Dark Trooper, Moff Gideon, having them available for Haven and or Mandalore. Really, really helpful for us, especially because Night Trooper, Captain Enoch, and Death Trooper are not in operations whatsoever. And I actually don't even think I think Scout Trooper maybe is on Mandalore, but overall, very light on operations there. So it's a team that if you do take them all, even to just say Relic 9 for the sake of argument, maybe don't use them on Mandalore, they're available for Malachor or Hoth battles as well. And with that Enoch Omicron, that will be a walk in the park. So 2 other teams I would like to point out. The Pirate King Hondo. Now I think this one's pretty simple where a lot of us have him at, have that full team at Relic 9. But this is if you don't, even if you're missing like a singular unit, this is a big deal. Again, no operations assignments here, and very, very consistent, very good in all, phases of TB. Again, without having to assign, with having this team kind of free from operations, it really can free up some of your other maybe dark side units that you're using with him to either go with another galactic legend that you would bring up, or, potentially be able to donate to operations. A really good example on my end is because I have this team here, I can kind of use my leftover like Sith like Bane and Darth Revan and Malak, and I could throw them with, I've done like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren before, I've done it with Lord Vader before, and just get an extra mission there because I have that Hondo team all geared up and ready to go. But another team like this that I think maybe a little bit less of us have full out is the Spectre team. I don't even have this one done yet. I'm missing General Syndulla and Hu Yang. But they're kind of on that list where if I can get them fully Relic 9'd, it will just make life that much easier for me moving forward with my, Spectre squad. That then where I'm using, say, light side characters in this team, I could throw them with, say, my Galactic Legend Rey and get additional Relic 9 missions done. Or even, sometimes I've used Rey on Mandalore. This will just help be a little bit more consistent because it won't be a necessarily ragtag group of characters. It will be a more, say like succinct type of team. Other things just to kind of bear in mind with TB before we switch to some other areas, trying to think ahead a little bit. Many of us, myself included, are in this point where your next 2 waves of territory battles are going to come from basically taking an entire team from Relic 8 to Relic 9 or Relic 7 to Relic 8 or wherever, that you got to make some big jumps, bounds, and leaps. When you are doing that, one thing I'm going to ask you to do is sort of let the officers know. And let me explain why. Let's say you're like myself and you're working on a full Relic 8 First Order team. When we are doing ops optimization, if we see that someone has a Relic 8, say, First Order Stormtrooper, we may take that unit. Because, that's not eating into their full First Order team. But if you are actively like, hey, I'm building a full Relic 8 First Order team, please don't take this for an operation, because I'm trying to build, get the Hux bonus, that's something that you can tell the officers, let us know, and that way we try not to take that from you. So there's some of those instances where something like that, by kind of letting us know what you're working on, it could make a big difference. Similarly with like the Phoenix Squad, if you take Captain Rex to say Relic 8, there's requirements for Captain Rex on Mandalore. Well, if you say, hey, I'm building my Rex to use with my Phoenix as a Relic 8 combat mission, right? That, again, just lets us know probably not to take that from you because you're going to be using it somewhere else. So just staying in kind of constant contact with the officers on, some upgrades you're making that could potentially get dragged into operations assignments is helpful. And lastly, on operations assignments, if you are giving up a character and struggling with missions, if you're giving up something and it's really, really struggling, it's a big struggle for you to complete them. What I recommend doing is, tagging officers, right? Let us know, but also kind of put it in the Mando events section of the Discord. Put it there. And a lot of times there is somebody who could be like, hey, I'm not using that character. We just had this with, I forget who it was, but Finn Daddy was like, hey, I don't need to use my Jedi Knight Luke. And right there, we fill another op assignment, right? We keep the op assignment, but we give somebody a Jedi Knight Luke who was struggling without it. So those are instances, if you guys can stay in contact with each other and the officers, it will really help us kind of continue to build better, like, ops assignments and feel like we're doing more with our available resources. Now, other housekeeping items for us, just kind of continuing to think, we are doing, again, Territory Wars has been going pretty well for us. Just continuing to emphasize only joining if you're going to fully participate. That's a big one for us. Like, sometimes we're going to lose because we get paired up with a guild that's actually just as good as us, and it's going to be a mess. But in some of those cases, we've also had it where players join those battles, and maybe it would be a more fair fight, but we've got players who aren't attacking timely, or, aren't participating the way we need them to. It's really important that if you have any doubt that you might not be around for territory wars, please think about just sitting out. Because to kind of flip it on you for territory battles, imagine, how upset we get when people don't timely do their operations. Well, it's the same thing with people not timely attacking in territory war. Otherwise, guys, I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm incredibly honored and, and feel like, blessed to be your officer, because you guys are just continuing to blow us away with how quickly you are moving through, and the upgrades you're making, the suggestions, and the, cooperation as we kind of move through this, navigating our new territory battle plan. As things continue to develop, we'll probably be able to open up additional missions. We'll be able to open up some things that maybe right now we're not doing, but we're just trying to make sure we're leaving ourselves in some phases a lot of wiggle room in case of someone, going on leave of absence and not deploying, or a mistake. We're trying to make sure that we leave ourselves enough of a margin that we are not going to miss a star. Like, you think right now, we're a long way away from getting that 49th star on Hoth. So there's no reason to try and risk, phase 3 or phase 4 for an additional 5 million, territory points from opening an extra mission that we don't really need, when that could cost us a star on deploying in that phase. So that, continued patience there, and we really appreciate everybody kind of working with us on that. That's the end of the video, Mandos. Let me know your thoughts down below. Love you guys. Let's keep pushing, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, everyone.